All right, still with us, criminal defense attorney Joseph Tully. And Joseph, let's take a step back, and I want to get your impression of the defendant's time on the stand. How do you think it went for him? Because we saw there, the defense spent a lot of time. They were only given an hour and a half, and they had to spend a lot of time, and I didn't add it all up, but it had to be 30, 40 minutes just addressing some of the missteps on the stand. So how do you think he did overall?
Well, in terms of the defendant being on the stand, Mr. Edgecomb?
Yeah, how he did on the stand in terms of, testifying on his own behalf.
Sure. So, a lot of times what we see on the stand is, the government has to put on their case. So we're used to seeing police officers on the stand, and there are people who are trained, they go to school, and they get experience. And so they are professional witnesses. Now, Mr. Edgecomb, in contrast to that, is not a professional witness. And as Mr. Lamar, adroitly pointed out, he's on trial for his life. And so he's going to be nervous. So we have somebody who's not professional who's going to be nervous. And I think he did okay, but I think there were certain things that if I was a defense attorney in that case, if I was in Mr. Lamar's shoes, I would have been groaning inside as my client kind of went off the rails a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I would have to agree with you. And I thought there were some missed opportunities for redirect of that particular witness as well, because I thought the state did some damage on their cross-examination. But here on the prosecution's rebuttal, they talk a little bit about some of what we just saw from B.I. Lamar, trying to clean up some of the things that the defendant said on the stand. And they told this jury that they didn't tell you everything. So let's give a quick listen here to Grant Eubner as he gives his rebuttal to what the defense has said in their arguments.
And defense counsel spent half an hour trying to make it seem that it's not what his client said. That is what his clients said. Because when that last-ditch effort by the defendant doesn't work, now the defense counsel's got to try Plan Z. Running didn't work. Ditching the gun didn't work. Lying to Kentucky didn't work. Lying to MPD didn't work. Lying to you didn't work. And now we got a whole nother plan. This case is what happened right then and there. And on that video, there was not a lunge. There was a step. Retro Kamen says he has his hands up. Other people didn't see it. But regardless of it, the worst case scenario is a person who got punched was getting ready to punch back. And the defendant shot him. That is first-degree intentional. If you think he actually believed that there was a threat of death or great bodily harm, because that's what he has to believe, then it's second-degree intentional, because there's no way that's reasonable. If you think that maybe shooting only once somehow is not intent to kill, even though he's a trained weapons guy who's got a gun and at close range puts one into someone's brain, then it's first-degree reckless. If there's utter disregard for human life, if there's not, it's second-degree reckless homicide. Everything defense counsel just went through in terms of their arguments does not get you to not guilty. It's just a matter of which one of the homicides he's guilty of. Keep in mind, you are taking and hearing someone criticize an investigation in which they are doing everything they can, and he and they cherry-pick the evidence, cherry-pick the result, and Ricky Burns never asked for anything more. There were reports he didn't see and didn't even care to see. Why? Because they didn't want him to see them, because it didn't help what they wanted him to say. Talk about showing everything. They didn't. We called all the witnesses. You've heard all of the case. This is about this case and nothing more. And the simple fact that anybody tries to draw your attention to something else goes to show that they know they can't win when it comes to the elements and the facts in this case. He's guilty, ladies and gentlemen. The facts are clear. The law is clear. He's guilty. Your verdict is clear.
All right, still with me, Joseph Tully. And Joseph, it's obvious that this jury didn't buy his passionate arguments about the first-degree or second-degree intentional homicide, finding instead for that first-degree reckless homicide, which is basically reckless actions with an extreme indifference to human life. How do you think the jury got there and not to those intentional murders?
Okay, well, I think that the only reason why the jury got there is because of somebody like B. Ivory Lamar. I think that as much as, during this time of year, we're taught that, grown men who play a game with a ball, a children's game with a ball, should be hailed as heroes. B. Ivory Lamar is out there fighting in the trenches every day, taking unpopular stances and making sure that the system is fair. I think he fought with his heart, he fought with his mind, he fought with everything that he had, and he got the absolute best result that anybody could have got under that situation.
Yeah, amen. I agree with you 100%. I'm not sure it's the best. I might have quibbled with that a little bit, but at the end of the day, I think it was definitely, as you mentioned before, a win for this defense. Great work by their defense team. All right, Joseph, stand by. We're going to take a break. When we